Hi, my name is Sandra from Crafts of Ireland, and today I'm going to show you how to make our little sheep that I use as my needle holder. And this is our crafty little sheep. He sits beside me when I'm needle felting, and it is made from the wool from our own sheep. So what do we need to make it? We need a cushion to support our work. We have our carded white wool, which is going to be what his body and head and arms are made from. Then I have some uncarded wool that I'm going to use to make the fluffier fleece. Tiny bit of black, a little bit of pink for eyes, ears, and detail, and then some glue to stick the bottle when we reach the end, that it becomes a little needle holder. So let's get started and let's make our little crafty sheep. So for this project, I have approximately 15 grams of carded wool, and I've divided it up. So the larger piece is what I'm going to use to make the body. And the easiest way I find to make anything is to roll it up tightly as near as you can to the shape that you require. So I'm going to tightly roll this fibre into the shape that we need to make the body. I want to get the bottom a little bit fatter than the top, and then we can start felting. So we're going to work on this until it becomes solid. So you want to push your needle straight and at least halfway into the fibre with every stroke, so that you are felting right through. It's not just the outside of the fibre that you're felting. You want to make sure that you felt right through to the centre. If you wanted to make sure you're doing that, you could take a small ball of fibre, felt it fully, cut it in half, and just check then that it is actually felted full way through. And if you see, I am travelling up it and I'm felting in that top section to give it a shoulder. Now, when you're felting, you need to bring your needle straight, but you can also, any way that you're driving the needle, once it's straight, once you're not flexing the needle, is okay. So I can take it and work it from that angle as well. With this type of 3D felting, you do need to be conscious of where your fingers are. So we're going to work away on that until it becomes solid. And already you can see that it's starting to take shape, but it's still quite soft. So work away on it and get it into a nice solid piece that it's going to support our bottle, and it's going to sit firm when we place it on a flat surface. So I'm after spending a few minutes working this piece of wool to get to the shape that I want. So you can see now that we've got almost like a little round domed piece, similar in height to our original crafty sheep, and that piece is solid. You can see that it's felted nice and flat on the bottom so that it has a good surface to stand, and I've domed it slightly at the top so that the sheep will have a little bit of shape when we add the head to it. So you keep working till the piece is firm. You'll know by it squeezing it, and when you're felting, the wool will get quite hard the more that you work it. I think we're happy enough with that, so I'm going to leave that piece one side. The next thing then is I need to make a head for the sheep. So again, the wool is carded, and I am going to roll it into the shape. So we've kept the shape of the head on this sheep quite simple. It's a nice, easy beginner project into 3D needle felting. So again, just roll into your shape that you want. Keep it nice and smooth. And I want to leave a little tail out at the bottom, which will connect the head to the body. So I'm going to leave that tail to connect the two parts together. And again, working at least halfway with the needle. I'm going to keep working around it. And with anything that's round, you want to keep moving as you work. You don't want to work continuously in one spot, because all that will happen is that you will flatten the piece and it won't have the shape that you desire. So you need to keep working your way around the piece as you move. So this is going to be the bottom of the head. It's going to where I connect the head. That's its neck, or the connection piece. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to work back again. This is nose. Back of its head. And you can see I'm putting the needle at least halfway through every single time, so that I'm felting fully with each stab of the needle. So that's, again, we're almost there. And you can see that the shape of her head is very similar to the original piece. Now, I do find it easier to add the ears and the nose and mouth detail at this stage, because you're holding it on the cushion and it's easier to work. So I'm just going to tidy off. And then we're going to take some of the colours and we're going to add the detail. So that's our little head. Just tighten in there a bit. Now I need 2 ears. So to do that, I'm just going to take some of the wool that's carded again, and I'm going to lay it down flat, and I'm going to felt it into a piece of fabric. I'm going to work this is the same way as a needle felting machine would make felt fabric. And I'm going to turn it over, and you can see already that it's becoming a stable piece of material. And turn it back again. It's almost there. So the 2 pieces are being, the material for the 2 pieces of the ears are being made at the one time, and we're going to cut them then from this piece. And that is what we need to make our ears. So I'm going to take all the needles out of my little guy, and you can see the shape of the ears, are pointed and slightly narrower at the bottom. Now, sharp scissors. You can make them whatever size you want. There's nothing wrong with a sheep having big ears. Use the first one as a template and cut the second one to match. So that's our 2 ears. Then we're going to give it a little bit of detail. So I've got a tiny bit of pink fibre. Now you want to felt this very lightly in, because you don't want it to come through the back if you can manage. So I am just tipping it in with the first barbs of the needle. And that's not too bad. And you can tidy it up. Just trim on the back, and you'll take away some of that pink. And do the same again for the second one. Just a tiny bit of pink. This in the center of the ear. And very lightly. Stab that into place. And again, there we go. And we can cut away some of the pink, and it won't be as noticeable. So we've got 2 ears. Next, I am going to decide where to put the eyes. So approximately there, and on the other side to match. Now, if you have glass eyes, you could use a set of them to put into it. You can buy small eyes for making animals. But a little bit of black fibre is just going to do the job perfectly. I'm going to take a small little bit of black, roll it up nice and tight, and work it into place. Again, there's some extra fibers. Let's go tidy them off. That's one eye. And same again, take a small little bit of black, roll it, and roughly where we marked, we're going to put the eye. That one is slightly smaller, so we'll tighten this one maybe in a bit and add a tiny bit to this one. We don't want them having two different size eyes. We're not too bad at that. I think we can settle for that. Next thing we need is the nose. So if I place it on the mat and roughly and see where, again, take a small little bit of fiber, and the nose is like a little triangle. So we want to get that roughly centered between the two eyes. And then just stick it in and then tighten it into place. Just be careful putting pressure on your needles for to do this. You can break them. Just take the fiber down, gather up those loose ends, and we're going down for its mouth. It's like a little heart shape, a little triangle. Again, there's some long fibers that haven't tightened in. And then the last bit is to give it a little mouth. Just take a tiny bit of fiber, and we can stab it in the center. And why not have a smiley sheep? That's our eyes, and our ears are next. Just don't want them looking too wonky, or I'll have to change something here. Is turn his nose up a little bit. That's better. We can adjust it slightly. Then we are going to add the ears, and they are going to sit approximately here. So I'm just going to place the ear flat side down, and you're going to felt that in along like so. And then if I work back a bit, it will bring the ear forward and give it almost a curved appearance. And that's one. Now we need to make sure we get the second one level with that one. So turn over on this side. It's amazing the way the wool all connects together, and then we're going to work in it. Give him an eardrum. Here we go. One fine set of pink fluffy ears. And tighten this one up another bit. And we've got ears, and we have eyes, and we have a nose. So that's our little head completed. And now I am going to connect the head to the body we made earlier. So I'm going to leave that fiber sitting down over, and I'm going to work that loose fiber. Hold the head down and just work the loose fibers to connect them. We're going to add some more fibre to him afterwards. So we'll be bringing some up around the neck area. There we go. Head is connected. So now we are going to add some arms next. So it's still standing perfectly. And we'll leave him. He's beside his buddy. And actually they are turning out quite similar in size. Again, when you're doing something like this, it's difficult or almost impossible to make the exact same piece twice. You need some arms for him. I'm going to roll these up. And I want to make them roughly the same thickness if I can. And again, they work the same way. With these, you have to make sure to keep rolling it because it's almost like felting a cylindrical tube. We're not going to felt the top part because that's the piece that we're going to leave soft for it to connect to our body. And we're going to make 2 of these. And just be careful when you're felting in around the front of it that you don't stab your fingers. So we have just made both of the arms, and I have added the black to the first one. I'm just going to add it to the second one now. So this is the little hoof. I've just got a little small piece of black fibre, and the first thing I'm going to do is connect it and get a nice clean edge in it for the hoof. You can see the way if you work it around like that, you can get it nice straight edge. And then we can tighten all the fibres down to the front. And that's our 2 little matching arms or legs. In this case, I suppose they're almost arms. Again, I have left the last part of the piece soft. So this is where it's going to connect. And we're going to bring them down at a slight angle because we have to glue our bottle in place. So I'm just going to tack them on loosely, and then we can check that the bottle will be okay with them. See for placement. And we have bottle. That's going to sit. Looks a bit odd at the moment. Bottle is going to sit, and the 2 arms should wrap around. I think I'm going to bring this one forward slightly. That's better. Just to get placement right on these before we felt them too far in. I think that's about it. Yeah, the bottle fit at that perfect. So that's where we're going to put his little arms, and that will hold the bottle. So we're good to felt them into place. And by leaving the extra fibre unfelted at the back of them, it's very easy to secure them into place. And we're almost there. So now you can see when they're tightened up, that bottle will sit perfectly, so we have plenty of space for to glue it. And our last job then is a handy, easy project, is to add some fibres that have been washed, but these ones haven't been carded, so we'll get a bit more fluff for adding them. It's going to be a nice woolly jacket. We want to leave them. We're just going to give our sheep a nice woolly fleece. And this you can decide how fluffy you want the sheep to be. I'm just taking pieces from it, lid them down, and lightly step them in. And the crafty sheep is a woolly jumper. And we can bring some in around the neck. And working our way around. Another little bit in there. That's what I was saying earlier, that we can cover in a lot of what we've been doing with some fibre at the end. Now, I'll tidy that there. Don't want to leave too much wool on its belly because we want to stick the bottle to that area. We want that clean, no loose fibres. That's almost it. Now, the only thing that I am going to add, a tiny little bob on top of the sheep's head, because our sheep are Roscommon sheep. They're a native Irish breed, and most of them have a small white bob of wool on top of their head. So crafty sheep is getting a little white bob of wool. And that is crafty sheep. If the wool from the needles has become slightly marked, you could just cover it over with another piece of fibre if you wished. Anywhere that there's loose bits or that you don't like, just tighten them in. And there we go. So all that's left to do now is glue in our bottle. And I am first going to put a run of glue down the back so we can hold it in place where we want it. We want the bottom of it to be level with the table so that it's better supported. We'll hold that for a few seconds. Then I'll place some glue either side. Wipe off after anyway. A little bit of glue on either side. Hold hands in place. And once that dries, we have a perfect little needle holder. And it doesn't take too long. I've used Bostik glue and it doesn't take too long to dry. So we can try out crafty sheep. And that's our perfect little needle holder, all done and finished. and a lovely, easy beginner 3D project. And he's beside his buddy, who happens to have a shorter bottle. Longer bottles are slightly more effective. So thank you for watching our video on how we make our crafty sheep. You can see already the glue has dried and our bottle is perfectly stuck in place. Any extra glue, we can just scrape it off afterwards. And it's almost a twin for our first piece. So crafty sheep is available in a kit on our website. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please do look at our other videos, give us a follow, and we will be constantly updating our site, our YouTube channel, with extra videos for you to enjoy, and keep needle felting and following Crafts of Ireland.